Okay, so we're running a cave again for part of the cave tutorial series. As we move through these, they tend to get a little harder. This one's quite small, but has some very unique challenges. It's located at 19.190. I believe it's called the Northwest Cave. The artifact is the Skylord. Quite a nice looking artifact for the trophy case, actually. It's used to as a tribute for the dragon of any level, hard, easy, whatnot. So the cave's reasonably easy to find. If we take a look at our map, sorry for that chat window, it's right up here, up in the top northwest corner, and it isn't really blocked by trees. There's a little kind of path that leads down to it, so that's sort of a giveaway a bit if you're flying along the edge. As well, it's right off the ocean, so it makes it a little easier to find than some of them that are buried in the woods. This cave has some unique aspects as compared to some of the other above ground caves here on the island, and there are some things that you're going to want to strongly consider before going in here. Now, as mentioned in my other caves, I am a gun guy when it comes to caves. Every other cave we've done, that may not be necessary. In this cave though, even the wiki will tell you it's time to get that boomstick out. Dinos you can bring in are very limited. Mostly shoulder carrier birds. You're not fitting cats in here. You're not going to be fitting anything that walks, essentially, except for things like compies. Now when you look at the wiki, I'll post a link in there, you do see an actual list of dinos, and some of them are ranked excellent. What they're talking about though is what you can bring in. So a compy has an excellent rating, but they just mean it's easily fit through the doors. That doesn't mean it's something you should bring. I don't know how you would get around the so-called pitfalls in this cave with the compy. So, I would stick with ideally a vulture. Of course, not everybody's in a cluster, and not everyone can get a vulture. But that would probably be my first choice of dinos. If not, a pack of dimorphs. But it's a fairly small cave. It's quite manageable as far as the violence goes. So you should be okay without dinos. But if you don't have a high-end sniper rifle and a high-end shotgun, and I do use those throughout the cave series, the solution, one alternate, is to bring a couple guys with you. I did lose in this cave my best sniper rifle. I have a second best that's still quite baller. It was broken and had to be repaired. We're going to be using it today, no choice. But if not, you take a high-end sniper rifle, say it hits at 500-600. Well, 2 or 3 players with a lower-end sniper rifle will do the same damage with focus fire. The challenge there is you don't have a lot of room to move, so communication and working together are going to be quite important. To get to the artifact, you just stay hard on the right. The cave is very maze-like. Everything inside looks the exact same. It's very easy to get lost in, but you can kind of work your way out. For me, the hardest danger in this cave is the pitfalls. There are some where your body cannot be recovered. You lose all your gear instantly. I believe they do about 4,000 damage when you fall in. If you've seen the other videos, I use my grappling hook even to get out of lava or all kinds of other jams like the water. I have not been able to successfully draw my grappling hook and fire fast enough before dying in the pitfall. If anyone has a video of that, please post it up in the comments. I just don't see it. So that's something you really got to consider. There are pitfalls you can fall in, you'll insta-die, but you can then take a grappling hook and a crossbow and get your body out. So when it comes to this cave, I am keeping an extra grappling hook and crossbows in my kit here at the Bird. So if things go south, I can at least run back quickly with that. Now that being said, something I haven't mentioned or may have mentioned, I used to carry 3 sets of gear when I was newbie at the caves in my Argent, and if I died I'd reload everything to go back and get my body. The weight issue is too big, it doesn't work out. So the Freya can be helpful if you're recovering your body, because at least you can not freeze to death on the run. So before we get going here, let's talk about kit. They do say on the wiki that it's possible to get where you're going without jumping, without a grappling hook and just jumping. First, if you're with a few people, that could be sketchy. You might bump into each other. Second, a lot of times when you jump, you hit a cave roof like this, and I don't know. I mean, go for it if that's the kind of risk you want to take. But I literally wouldn't be coming into this cave without grappling hooks. As you know, I use grappling hooks in all my caves. Some prefer the parachute. the parachute isn't even going to open by the time you hit those pitfalls. So this is a grappling hook cave, in my opinion, highly recommended. Again, we're at the Northwest Cave, if I mixed that up earlier. Now, some things to think about as far as the gear goes. First and foremost, let's talk levels here. I'm a 101. There's a pretty good chance that if you're watching this video, you're not a 101 yet. That's okay. If you can unlock the grappling hooks, in my opinion, you're good to go. Some things we could definitely reduce here are movement speed. We're not going to be able to move fast in here. I know I preach movement speed a lot. It allows me to retreat, especially when I'm alone in a dangerous cave, but it just is ineffective. The corners, the little spikes that hang down, the rate at which you're moving half the time you're crouched, forget about it. Melee weapon, usually I have a sword with me. It's quite pointless in this cave. There are times where you cannot use your melee weapon, but a pick is very important. We may find some metal rocks and other rocks that are in our way. We won't be able to progress without moving them, so that's going to be pretty key. Of course, the crossbow and grappling hook. I have my Mastercraft shotgun that does quite a bit of damage. That's going to come through pretty good. And my Boss sniper. Now, you can lower these weapons, like I said. If you're coming in with real primitive stuff, though, or basic stuff, you're going to have to really be strategic, be patient, and be careful. It can be done, but better to bring a couple people or a load of dimorphs. But you may lose a lot of them. Bring 20 dimorphs, you might lose 10 or 15, so watch for that. The stim is really unnecessary in this cave. The only two dinos we're going to be dealing with are the spider and the onyx, or the bat. Araneo, or the bat, essentially. So I just happen to have it as a standard on my cave runs. I'm carrying it, but stimulant or stim berries, probably take a pass on that. The free I don't need as long as I'm wearing my fur, but if my fur gets damaged, which is very possible, we're going to be in some close quarters battles here, or I need to make a run back to get my gear out of a hole, that free is going to come in handy. Like I mentioned, you can't carry all that fur again and the guns again when you're going to recover your body. You're going to have a weight issue. This is very expensive, hard to make, and requires some odd ingredients. I shouldn't say hard to make, but the ingredients are difficult, and they're expensive ingredients. You can do without it. We're going to be in close quarters battles with the onyx, and they give you super rabies. So the lesser antidote is quite important in curing that instantly. However, if you can't, bring as much medical brew as you can. It's very cheap, it's easy to make, the ingredients are easy to find, and as that super rabies is draining health, we can offset that by jamming up some medical brew. Let's get rid of this and get our meat. I've brought a little more meat and water than's needed. The wiki says bring lots, but I probably won't be dying of thirst in here. And I'm a little heavier than I'd like to be, but once I place my three sleeping bags, that'll reduce. And in this particular case, I'm not as worried about it because I can't move fast anyways. I have failed at this cave a couple times. It was, oddly enough, one of the first caves I did. I did it with 4 people, and we were successful that time. 2 people didn't make it. They fell. They died. They lost their gear. They weren't really quite prepared. They were just along for the ride. The 2 of us that did make it died of super rabies on the way back because we, at that time, were still a little early game for the lesser antidote, and we didn't have enough medical brew. So we did get our artifact, though, because we died kind of close to where the walls are. So there's supposedly quite a few hard to get, as in need the grappling hook to get them, loot drops in here, but I could only find one. Now, I don't spend time, as far as research goes, on YouTube watching videos before I make mine. My thing's kind of about my personal experience and practice. So, you know, you may find someone that has discovered all those loot crates. They are decent. They're yellow. I never saw a red. I did see one yellow. One way to get to it is the left here. Another way is to circle around, which is the method we're going to use. But if you find more, post it up in the comments. Post up your video of you finding them if you like. I'm not really doing caves for loot crates above ground. They are kind of medium. For me, it's easier to go to Ragnarok, is the easiest, or Scorched Earth, and get my loot crates that way. But if I get to one and it's yellow or red, I'll check it. I even check the low-end ones because you never know. But the underwater loot crates, yes, they're all pretty high, and the snow cave has red crates throughout with Ascendant stuff in it. So I might get something good here, but I have doubts. So loot crates generally aren't my focus in most of the above ground caves. So as the instructions say, we're supposed to be sticking to the right. Now there is a pitfall, I believe it's right here, that is insta-death somewhere just up front. One of these little paths that's insta-death, no body recovery. So you're definitely going to want to keep a watch on for that. We're going to hang to the right. I tried messing around here to grapple through. It's a bit of a trap. Even with the grapple, there's a pretty good chance you won't line up right, and when you let go you fall down there. That's insta-death. So we won't be messing about there. When lying down, you can't use your melee weapon. Again, on the wiki they say don't even bring one because you're never going to be, you know, able to lie down. I don't know if they've changed. The wiki as usual is a little bit outdated. But I didn't lie down much in this map, crouched mostly, so my melee weapon might come in handy. However, just didn't find in the 4 or 5 times I've done this cave that I really needed it at all. Some good luck can come about. The spiders in some cases have a tendency to fall into the holes and you don't have to fight them. The intensity on this cave is going around corners and close quarter battles with the Oryx, which can be quite intense for sure. We're going to do some heavy snooping around. That I believe is the pitfall where you're absolutely dead when you fall in. And look, so we have very little time to react, and any type of retreat can be hampered by various items. So we did a little quick test on that retreat. That's the route. Whoa. A pretty good chance I might catch the rabies here. And I'm stuck already on some of these little, you know, it's just not freedom. The freedom of movement is highly limited. And we are in a bit of a close quarters battle. The super rabies is on. You can see that health draining real fast. And that would take a lot of medical brew to offset. Look at how long well, you didn't get to see it, or you may have, but the timer is pretty long on the super rabies. So we would have consumed a significant percentage of our medical brew. Just in that initial battle. And the spiders aren't too bad, but these guys really can get up in your grill, so to speak, and cause a lot of damage in close. He's stuck in the walls. He's going to come out of those walls at the worst possible time. We'll have to keep an ear open for him. And we're going to go ahead and med brew up. Try and keep things at top levels here, because we just can't predict what's going to happen. So this is the way to the artifact. Always a little nervous jamming myself. You see this rock? It's going to maybe hurt an emergency retreat. We're going to clear that up. And dump the weight right away. I'm not into carrying any extra load when I'm in here. If you're coming into caves to farm, you might want to rethink that. It's just easier ways to get stuff. Let's get that shotgun loaded up. Because this cave's a little more difficult, I'm using much more caution than I might in other caves. This is a tough spot. You never know. Unfortunately, in caves all over Ark, some of these times the bad guys are hiding in the walls and all of a sudden come out when you really don't want that to happen. Probably would have fallen and died. I'm not taking any chances. Very nervous. As I've mentioned, whenever I grapple somewhere that I haven't got a good view or clearing of, I can't see what's there, and I cannot pull back once I go. I probably could with the grapple, but that's, you know, every fall here is so high risk. If I fall and die here, I will be able to get my body out with the grappling hook. If it happens, we're not going to end the video. We're going to go back and get it, but sure as heck don't want to. I don't think I have extra Freya in the bird, so I'll be making a mad dash while I freeze my buns off. And even letting go here, I'm going to actually put myself down first. Letting go too quickly and away I go. So we definitely have some spiders around the corner. If they're backed up by Oryx, we got some problems. You can get lucky once. Look at that. That's how small the cave is. You can get lucky once in a while, and a lot of these spiders will fall into pits, and you just won't have to deal with them. I mean, I'm not really able to explain why this guy's not taking hits, but Ark isn't perfect, but it certainly is one of my favorite games ever released. Just not loving the fact that I can't kill this guy and he's between me and the artifact. No explanation for that. That's the worst I've seen. I don't really want to access that artifact with this guy alive. Oh, he's dead. No. I mean, nothing's making sense right here. Unquestionably a problem. Our stim juice is a backup at this point. I might grapple him right close to me here. I just don't see other options. Maybe if he moves. I mean, unreal, isn't it? And he's between me and that. We'll grapple him up, see if we can pull him. A horrible place to do it. He could push me off there, maybe. I don't know. I'm not loving this moment, folks. Can't grapple him either. So we can't make any contact with him. I mean, at this point, we're going to give up and cry and go home. No, we'll have to see what we can do here. We can access it anyways. Looks like this guy is combat ineffective. Combat ineffective. Look at all the problems there, but that's where we're going. It should lead us to the yellow drop that's through there. And this is also, for me, a horrible thing to do. I'm going to have to jump up. Let's get the shotgun loaded right away. I'm going to have to jump up there and then waste these guys in a tight spot. And I don't know how many are there. It's just no good. Now, the med brews, the armor, the weapons, these are the times where this stuff really kind of shows its value. See, look at that. If I let go there, where do I end up, right? Let's lower ourselves down. Move over and give it another shot. I'm taking extreme caution here. This should be a little better. No room to move. Don't have my usual reverse. Not going to be trying to grapple and escape, so we're just going to stand our ground. This is a stand our ground cave. He's only a level 25. I'll just one-shot him in the head here and deal with him. Oh. You saw the sniper and fled. Better be Johnny on the spot with that trigger finger, reload constantly. That's good advice in any game where you're carrying a gun. Well, in Call of Duty and other games you might want to time that, right? You reload when you got a quick pause or you're hiding in a corner or whatnot, but we're doing the same thing here. Otherwise we run those bullets right down. Second artifacts come up. I usually like to dump the first one and grab the second one to clear up the mess. I don't love that vibrating stuff. We're just going to do a thorough search here on the careful. There's a hole. Could be deadly. I'm just going to snoop around. Now, one thing you'll notice is everything looks the same. The cave itself is not big, but they try and kind of mess you around by getting you lost. So maybe there used to be drops here, and that's why the wiki's saying that. I also was not able to find any explorer notes in this cave, and I apologize if there are some. I thought I've gone through the whole thing. No dossiers, no notes, so maybe we'll get lucky and find... Here's one of those examples where you don't got to deal with them because they fall right into that hole. And one of the times I did it, there was got to be 5 or 6 in there. I couldn't even kill them all because they were piled under the dead bodies of the ones I did kill. There's our drop. It's heavily defended. Got the rabies again. Get that going right away. Compensate for the loss of health. We're going to clear up to get that drop, and then we are out of here. I do not love this cave, folks. Because even on your... Wow, alright, leveled up. Outstanding. Even on the best of days, you've got your artifacts, you got everything done. One little slip up on the way out, and it's all finished. So just landing here is kind of a headache. If I hit the wrong spot, so there's, it's just headaches. We're going to be real careful, as I mentioned, when we drop down. Make sure that we're on a good path. See if we can't walk up a bit. Alright, And that's the out. We're going to go out this way. That's another access, I believe. Every movement is calculated. Look at that. This is why I don't generally run the above ground caves. Now, we could have caught something better. I already have a fabricated pistol. There's not much I can do with this. I'm going to take it. Might be good as a gift to a new person. I'll tell you, these ascending cloth pants are tempting, but we'll just go ahead and let that go. Not much use for them. I'm not burning extra mats in the early game to make that. Looks like we got some problems ahead as we work our way out. Well, there's 2 ways to get to that yellow drop. One is to... I always tend to go with the artifact first and then loop around to get it on the way out. But you could go the opposite direction. It's just easy when you're talking about a cave. You get, look at that, it's covered with smoke, can't even see. Oryx in there waiting to jump out at me. That's the kind of intensity we're talking about. You gotta be quick, you want to be focused, and you want to be going quick in your reactions, slow in your movements. And you know, you might be running around and you're a little panicky and anxious, and then that little thing will get you. And we got this thing in our way here, so we'll even be careful as always. Lower ourselves down while the hook is connected. That really is helpful. You know, in many cases you can just drop off that hook, but we're not going to be doing that. Going to clear this path here in case you get in trouble. Another thing you don't usually see me do in the caves is bothering to clear out the dead bodies. In the snow cave, in fact, you can use them tactically to create a bottleneck for the enemy, but at the same time it will stop you running away. So it's, you know, like I was saying, as they get a little harder, as we're working through them, different strategies have to be used. And we're going to hope to get out of here alive. That'll be fantastic. It will be my first solo completion of this cave. The other times I died was always some kind of mess up in a pit. Getting lost, you know, which we're kind of on the border of now, but I wouldn't mind to actually get a little lost and see if we can discover these so-called multiple. They use the word several loot crates on the wiki, and I swear that I've been through this thing all over and have not found this so-called seven. We're almost out. I believe that's one of those die instant no recovery pits. Even though I know the ground's below me, oh, I made the mistake of pressing C, but I should have lowered down. That extra caution really pays off. Again, we're just trying to see these so-called several loot crates, and I shouldn't be. I've got my artifact, I got the one drop. Best thing, I'm pretty sure there's no more. Best thing to do is get out now. And we're just kind of touring, so we've seen that at the beginning. Remember I said don't go that way. We ended up going right to the artifact. So we know out is up there. Dead bodies there, we've been... Still moving slow, just nervous about those holes. Real nervous. Let's just keep snooping around a little. Cold's not a problem because of the fur gear. If you're running primitive, you might get a little chilly. Not sure, I haven't been in with prim. I might have that first time I did it. I think I had one decent fur piece at that time. But farm hard on Ragnarok. Farm hard on Scorched Earth. Rag's easier if you got it. If not, you're on official Scorched Earth. You'll get those good drops to get the good gear. And when I'm talking about farm hard, I'm saying, you know, spend hours doing it. One interesting thing I saw, a player named Merc on our server, looks like he set up little boxes with beds close to the Scorched Earth drops. And I assume that he teleports to the bed to get the drop fast, puts the gear in a box, makes a little collection, and then flies around when he's ready to collect all those boxes. And I gotta say, Merc, heck of a fine idea, sir. Heck of a fine idea. Merc Nation, a part of our group here on Ark Nation. We're hoping to get out of here one day. I'm completely lost, but that's alright. Okay, so I thought the way out was through there. It's obviously not. We just came from there. Let's try and see if this loops around to the right. Excellent. There we go. Okay, well that about sums up that one, and hope you enjoyed it. The usual, you know, click that little bell, and I've got a friend, Y33G, helped me out with some thumbnails, getting my stuff to look a little prettier, so thanks to him. If you want to play on our servers, there's always info, if you just make that info section bigger, for playing on our servers, for checking out some of the stuff I record on. And you know, those likes and comments obviously help. I'm pretty new at this, but I'm doing my best to make quality stuff for you guys that's actually helpful, that's done on close to official settings, so that if you're on Xbox or PS4, this stuff applies. You can use these videos. Well, that's it for that. Take care, everyone. Be safe out there on the Ark, and have a great afternoon.